Breaking news, everybody. We have an update with the Jikishi situation, and things are even worse than they seemed. Let's get right into it. Alright, so this YouTuber right here named Jwhisp was one of his former roommates and one of his best friends, and he has an update for us. He said, sexual abuse, grooming, suicide, pedophilia, my experience as Jikishi's best friend and roommate. I have never shared my very personal experiences with one of the internet's biggest monsters. His crimes need to be known. And before we even read the tweet longer, guys, I do want to say that he talks about this video right here, and this video right here is a big reason as to why he dropped this tweet longer. It's called The Sad Life of YouTube's Most Canceled Creator by SunnyV2, and Sunny actually threw me in this video and kind of gave me a shout out. So thank you, Sunny. I appreciate you. Much love for even mentioning me and throwing my clip in there. I'm not gonna lie, I was fanboying. So thank you, fam. And I'll link his video down below if you guys want to go watch it. But now we're gonna read this tweet longer, and let me tell you, this is crazy. I read the whole thing already, and it is super juicy. I'm gonna read it again for you guys. So let's go. Recently, YouTuber SunnyV2 has posted a title, The Sad Life of YouTube's Most Canceled Creator, which is about Jikishi, a now gone YouTuber and streamer. During the time Jikishi was being canceled, I was not only his best IRL friend, but I was his roommate. The video mentioned how many details about Jikishi are unknown, and so I want to share them with you guys all today. Jikishi is a horrible monster, and the situation should not be taken lightly. I want to share this story because there are valuable lessons to be learned, important details to know, and it also has been eating me alive the past year and a half that no one knows the truth about this situation, except for a very small group of people. Jikishi's full real name, and I'm gonna blur that out because I can't show his full name. That's technically, like, in a way doxing, so I'm not gonna show that. But his first name is Demetrius, and he made that known. No one online knew his surname, but here it is, Demetrius blank. He chose not to give out his last name, but I believe he had lost that right to privacy when he decided to abuse minors. His real name should be known because the name belongs to a monster. He abused dozens upon dozens of underage girls, and I don't believe his crimes are as known as they should be. For some background, Jikishi and I both grew up in the Midwest, but different states. I grew up in Ohio, and he was from Wisconsin. We both received the offer from a content house to live in Las Vegas together. I will not mention the group by name because I believe members want to remain anonymous, and I will respect that. Demetrius and I both moved thousands of miles away to live in this house together, and we were both the only Minecraft content creators. Before moving in together, I had no idea who Jikishi was. He was primarily a Twitch streamer, and I was primarily a YouTuber, so we were from different spheres. A couple weeks, months before we moved in together, Jikishi was rated by a popular streamer, Dream. This transformed his career, allowing him to become a full-time content creator. While living together, Jikishi and I were best friends. We gamed together, we went to Planet Fitness together almost daily, went grocery shopping together. I had basically no friends at the time, and neither did he, so we were truly the best of friends. Also, I had a car and he did not, so we basically went everywhere together. I'll never forget the day that all changed. Me and my girlfriend at the time and Jikishi went to get our nails done for fun. I got my nails black and Jikishi got nails black and orange for Halloween, which is right around the corner. Not long after we got home, he got a message that he was invited to join the Dream SMP. This was a huge deal because he was invited to the Dream SMP, basically meaning you become instantly famous. Jikishi takes his iconic photo with his black and orange nails holding the Dream SMP invitation and posted to Twitter. Overnight, all of his social media accounts skyrocketed, gaining tens of thousands of followers on a platform. And yeah, as I was reading up to this part, I was like, you know, I knew about all this already, and even me thinking back about it, I remember because I knew Jikishi. He was in our group called the Empire, and then he left with Just Dash, and shortly after that, man, he blew up. Like, I'm not even joking. It was the most craziest thing I've seen. And then obviously what happens afterwards is really bad, but the things we're about to hear is super interesting, guys. Like, we find out what happens to him at the end, and I'm really interested to tell you guys, so we keep reading this. A couple days after Jikishi joined the SMP, things were great for Jikishi. He was rolling in success. A new day rolls along, and I decided to go to Starbucks, and I asked Jikishi if he wants anything. He doesn't answer his phone when I called to ask, which was very off-brand for him. I assumed he was busy with the Dream SMP, so I got him his regular order of the venti iced caramel macchiato. I come back to our house, knock on his door, but he refuses to open it or talk, so I leave his drink outside the door, which was never picked up. Later that day, I get a text from Jikishi while I was in Target looking for a Halloween costume saying, quote unquote, I'm sorry this had to happen. I want you to know our friendship wasn't fake, and I'm sorry for my actions. I had no idea what was going on. A few moments later, I get a call from my other roommates asking if I had been on Twitter that day. I realized that I was not on Twitter because it was a day of off social media for me. I open Twitter and see that Jikishi's name is at the top of trending tab for Twitter, and my heart sank. I race back to our house where I find Jikishi and my two other roommates all sitting on the couch with their eyes glued to their phones. A girl released her experience being groomed and sexually abused by Jikishi, and her story was getting a lot of traction. Everybody was in panic, including Jikishi. We had no idea if this story was real or fake or what would come from it. We all sat on the couch silent on our phones over the next hour and a half. Not a single word was said, but all of our backs stiffened in unison. Not a word was spoken, but I knew we were all seeing the same thing. Another girl came out with her own story, and another girl, and another. All in all, we counted over 40 girls that had their own horrific experience with Jikishi. These 40 girls were only the ones with proof. There were dozens others that had their own stories but didn't have proof. However, with the sheer size of Jikishi's terror, I am inclined to believe anyone who says they are a victim of all this. All of these girls were minors, while Jikishi was in his 20s in every case. There were massive age gaps, with the worst one being 10 years. Some victims weren't even teenagers. After we all saw how many victims we had, Jikishi was still making jokes about the situation. He was being exposed for horrible illegal crimes against minors, and this man is making jokes. At this point, point, I was so enraged, so sad, and I felt so betrayed I had to leave the house. While aimlessly walking around the streets of Las Vegas at night, I get a message from my friend on Discord. She had her own story with Jikishi and how he groomed her and abused her. Now I find out that my ex-best friend Jikishi abused one of my other good friends. This entire situation got really personal. I let my roommates know that I could not come home because of how angry I was at Jikishi. Angry is an understatement. I was so filled with rage and disgust that any attempt to describe it on here would probably get me banned. My roommates decided that Jikishi needed to stay in a hotel that night until we figured out what we can do with him. And the worst part about all of this wasn't that Jikishi was my only and best friend. That's fine, I can make new friends, but the worst part is there were no red flags. He was charming, kind, sweet, and a genuine joy to be around. Maybe his extreme charm should have been a red flag. This gave me some pretty severe trust issues, which destroyed my romantic relationships for a long time. Now here's where it gets really juicy, guys. SunnyV2's video mentioned how no one knows what happened to Jikishi. Here's all I know. No one has ever shared this information, so I hope I can enlighten everyone on the situation. Even though Jikishi was from the Midwest, living with his dad, his mother lived in Las Vegas, not far from the house we were in. The day after Jikishi was exposed, we were informed him that he has 24 hours to get out. We didn't care where he went or what he did, but he had to leave. He decided to move in with his mother, who lived in the Las Vegas area. His family was informed of the situation. That was the last day I saw Jikishi. To my knowledge, he was not investigated or even reported to any law enforcement. This criminal received no punishment besides his Twitch being deleted. Months after this incident, I saw a Demetrius post on Snapchat. I totally forgot I ever added him. It was a picture of a cross tattoo he had just gotten on his left forearm with his freshly painted black and red nails. The location of the Snapchat was in Las Vegas. I'm not sure if he's still in the area, but that is where I knew he was last at. His full name needs to be known by the public. This man does not deserve a good job, does not deserve to go to college, and should not be allowed to talk to minors. He's a serial pedophile and should be treated by society as such. And for the sake of you guys hating my twitlongers every time, I'm not going to read the rest of it, but basically he sums down the situation on his end and says that he had really severe anxiety and that this Jikishi situation affected him very negatively and that he was struggling a lot and that he actually grew up really poor. But in the end, he says that Jikishi put him at his lowest and now he's stronger than he ever has been, which is great to hear. So yeah, guys, go check out Jwhisp if you want down below in the description. I'll give him a shout out. Go subscribe to him. But man, this situation and my thoughts are insane. I really don't even know where to begin. This guy Jikishi is a monster. I knew what he was doing before, but to know that, he's out here posting on Snapchat and still making a reaction out of all this and not even caring really is mind-boggling. And the fact that this dude was making jokes when it happened and he was sitting on the couch with his friends, that just shows what kind of person he is, And like I said, posting that you're getting a tattoo on your story after all this happened, you would think this guy is in some sort of rehab facility trying to figure out his mind and get his mind right, because clearly if you've talked to over 40 girls that are underage and you have this many people against you, people that live with you that were deceived by you, knowing that you were a snake and knowing that you were doing this, and then you showed afterwards that you weren't even really sorry, didn't even make a statement that say that you were sorry, that is freaking ridiculous. You are a coward, I can't lie. This dude Jikishi is a coward, y'all. The fact that you never made a statement once apologizing is ridiculous. And I know you're watching this video too. I know you're watching this, and it's all good, man. You can do whatever you gotta do. Just know everybody's disappointed in you, man. I had a lot of faith in you when you joined the Empire. You let everybody down. You let everybody down again still. And I'm just tired of people like this, seriously, man. And I'm sorry, I would have showed his name because I really don't care at this point, but I really can't because YouTube, my video might just get taken down, and I can't because this is a huge update for people to hear. Also, shout out to my homie that DM'd me on Twitter. I'm not gonna say his name because I'm not sure if he wants me to or not, but he pretty much gave me this information and he found a docs file on Jikishi, and I was like, whoa, I can't show any of this on the video. But the thing is, guys, they have his information. A lot of these people online do, so I'm not gonna leak it. I'm just saying there is a lot of information on Jikishi out there. Things could get very interesting for him if people find out where he lives, because a lot of these internet trolls do not mess around. I am surprised. I'm not sure if he, I'm pretty sure he did break some laws, but I'm not sure how this all worked. I'm not sure if he really ever did get a court sentencing. Obviously in that story we heard that he wasn't arrested or anything. There wasn't anything from what he knew, but I still have no idea, guys. So let me know if you guys know any more updates on Jikishi down below in the comments. This is the update I had for you guys. And like I said, he's worse than we thought. He is a terrible person, and he's even more terrible. The fact that you would react like that while something like this is happening is just fucking ridiculous. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. The support has been insane. Thank you to SunnyV2 once again, for the love earlier, and thank you to you guys for showing some incredible support. I have never been more motivated with YouTube than I am as of the last 2 weeks, so let's keep it rolling. Yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button like we always say. Empire out.